Ladies and gentlemen, we take pride in presenting
In color. My favorite Marshall.
My Favorite Vinyl with Don Tanner.
And good morning. This is WEFT Champaign-Urbana, and the show where we welcome in CU movers and shakers to chat and play their favorite songs. It's a needle on the record celebration of vinyl and community. We appreciate you joining us, and we very much appreciate our guest coming in this morning, Mayor of Champaign, Deb Feinen. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great.
I appreciate it. I'm sure you have some more important things to do than be sitting across from me, but you'll get to those later today.
No, I like WEFT.
Well, we appreciate that. We appreciate you coming in. You're on your third term as mayor now. Has public service always been something that's been important to you?
It has. My mom actually was a Champaign County board member, and then she was circuit clerk for more than 25 years, so I grew up with it. So some of my earliest memories were campaigning and knocking on doors and helping her, attending county board meetings. And so, I think many people give back to their communities in many different ways.
Right.
That was just the way that I learned how to do it. And it's been incredibly rewarding, a whole lot of fun, and hopefully over the years I've helped to make our community a better place.
Yeah. Where are you from initially?
Here. So
from here.
We moved here when I was about 3. My dad came for law school.
Oh, okay.
And we stayed. He got a job offer after law school, and so we started in Urbana. Don't tell anybody. And
that's where I am now. Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. So moved out of married student housing at the University of Illinois in Urbana to a house on John Street in Champaign, and have been in Champaign ever since.
And your initial career track was to be an attorney?
It was, a little bit of my mom, a little bit of my dad. My mom taught, she was a teacher's aide for special needs classrooms at Unit 4.
Oh, nice.
I was a psych ed major in college, but never pursued the teaching piece of it. Ended up going to law school, and did my last year of law school back here because my mom, who had moved to be circuit clerk, left an open county board seat. And so I decided to run for that county board seat.
We're going to talk more about that, too. We also get to know you through your music on My Favorite Vinyl. So you're a Swiftie. Do many people know that?
I'm a Swiftie. I wore some of my friendship bracelets. I think people know. It's funny. I didn't mind her music. I wasn't one way or another. My youngest daughter had tickets to the Eras tour, which she got in a very odd, you were on the list originally, didn't get them, and they got a text link the week of the show, hey, there are more tickets.
That was a Ticketmaster.
It was a Ticketmaster crazy.
Yeah.
So the other mom and I decided we could not let these, 16-year-old girls drive up to Chicago and go by themselves. So we went with them, basically walked them to the stadium. And we decided we'd sit outside like a million other Swifties do and wait for the girls to be done. And then we'd walk back to where we were staying. And while we were sitting outside, these 2 girls approached us. We must have looked like safe moms and said, hey, we bought floor tickets while we were walking over. Do you want our tickets?
How
and
nice.
Trusted us to Venmo them, and they sent us the tickets via Ticketmaster exchange.
Wow.
And got to go to the show, and it was the most amazing thing I've ever seen, and it completely converted me, and I am a complete Swiftie.
Well, she's a very talented artist, obviously, and young lady. We're going to hear a song from 2019. It's called The Man. Why this song?
Well, I mean, any woman who has tried to accomplish things in life understands that there are different standards for men and women in this world, and that women do have to try that much harder and to sort of appear. When I started out, you had to wear like the men looking suits in order to be
right.
taken seriously, particularly in law. And I think this song really speaks to that difference, and that women, it's the Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. Ginger Rogers is doing it backwards in heels, right?
Right. Well, let's listen to it on WEFT. This is Taylor Swift and the
I
Man.
would be complex, I would be cool. They'd say I played the field before. Then I'd be the man, I'd be the man.
All right. Well, Taylor Swift got me on that one. It's called the fake ending in the radio business. But anyway, Taylor Swift from 2019, and this is My Favorite Vinyl. I'm Don Tanner. It's 8:10, and do need to tell you that support for My Favorite Vinyl is provided in part by CU CD and Vinyl in downtown Urbana. New and used CDs and vinyl, including rare imports and limited releases. SEEYOU CD and Vinyl, located behind the Elm City Roastery on Main Street in Urbana, and CU CD and Vinyl on all socials. So we're talking to Mayor of Champaign, Deb Feinen, and getting to know her a little bit more, and playing some of her favorite songs. Tough to narrow it down to 4 or 5.
It was terrible. It took forever.
I was sorry to put that on you. You had to think about that for a couple of
I
weeks.
need to
while
do
we're
this
talking.
about 20 more times so I can get the rest of my songs out.
You have an open invitation. Be a weekly guest if you'd like. So we talked about the fact you're a Swiftie, and with your daughter, and your love of music came from your parents?
It did. In particular, my dad, there was always music playing at our house. He had a turntable. He had a reel-to-reel tape deck.
That's heavy. That's hardcore audiophile.
Yeah, but then, that meant
cool.
he could record all of his friends' music too. So not just all the albums he had, but finding a particular spot in a reel-to-reel because you wanted to hear that song was
tough.
almost impossible. And we weren't allowed to touch it as a kid because he was sure we'd screw it up. But, he had this very eclectic taste. So, some days he was listening to Smashing Pumpkins.
Really?
The next day he's listening to Jerry Jeff Walker. And,
Wow.
it was
That's
just,
cool.
so we just grew up with a lot of music.
Yeah. What were a couple of his favorites?
Well, for me, whenever I hear Jackson Browne, that's my dad. And as he got older, it was a lot of country, but he really loved the female voice and, kind of interesting. So like Jillian Welch or, a Roseanne Cash or something like that.
Sure.
And so he loved when my sister and I would find new music and send it to him. And so
Always open to new music.
always open.
That's rare with parents
and
sometimes.
He had a car full of later cassette tapes, but when I was a kid, he had 8-track tapes in his old silver Thunderbird, which was pretty swanky.
I love the 8-track tapes because there would be a song toward the end, it would fade out, and then you'd hear a click, and it would fade back up. Why
Yeah,
didn't
I
they
could
just
hear
stop
that
it
click
before?
in my mind.
So we're going to hear a song, one of his favorites.
Yeah, definitely.
It's Jackson Browne. It's back to 1977 and Running on Empty. This is WEFT, My Favorite Vinyl. Listener supported, volunteer run since 1981. That's WEFT at 90.1 FM. We appreciate you listening this morning. You're listening to My Favorite Vinyl and the Mayor of Champaign, Deb Feinen. We couldn't be more happy to have you in here to talk to us today and play some of your favorite songs. So we talked a little bit earlier about college at the University of Illinois, or finishing up your
Law
JD
school,
here.
yeah.
So where'd you go from there?
So I stayed here. went to the Illinois Pollution Control Board.
Yeah, really.
And met my husband, who was working for the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency. So he appeared.
It was a nice fit.
Yeah, it was a great fit. He appeared before me in a hearing. I was a hearing officer and he was an attorney. And then I went into private practice with a group of women locally. We were a woman-owned law firm, which was really fun.
Nice.
And then I was at Tummelson, Bryan and Knox, and then I've sort of bounced around. I was at attorney's title, and now I am in-house counsel for TSI, commercial floor covering and advanced commercial roofing.
Gotcha.
And then the mayor, because mayor in Champaign is part-time.
Okay. But the call of political office was always kind of calling, and you mentioned earlier with your mom being involved, that was something you always kind of aspired to or interested you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, I really, mayor is much more of a commitment than like council member or county board member.
Sure.
But it has been just really the honor of my lifetime, and it's a great way. We have lots of boards and commissions. I'll give a plug if anybody wants to be appointed to help serve the city.
Yeah.
But it's a great way to be involved and help to shape what our community is going to look like in the future.
Yeah, well, we appreciate that. Speaking of involved, there's an organization, a local organization that you're involved with, or at least have been involved with some of their events and things that kind of ties into our next song.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what she said.
Yeah.
And I want to give a shout out to Carrie Rosso and Jeanette Jerzyk. But that's what she said is, a show that happens in the spring, normally at the Virginia Theater. They were under construction last year, so it was out of Parkland. And really, it's a group of women that come together, and each woman tells a story. Their story doesn't have to be, a life-changing. Sometimes it's just funny, and sometimes it's something very personal.
Right. A little bit,
they get about
TED Talk-ish, a little bit.
TED
maybe?
Talk-ish, about 5 minutes. You can talk about whatever you want, but Jeanette really helps you refine it over the course of about 6 months. And, I got the pleasure of getting to do that with a group of women who we have remained incredibly close, good friends.
Oh, nice.
Julia Reitz, the state's attorney, and I did ours together. We did kind of a joint talk, which is pretty rare. So we were on stage together about, a little more than 5 years ago now.
Okay.
And actually they had a reunion last night. So, we spend time together. We're in a group chat together.
Oh, that's nice.
And so the song that we're talking about was played at the end of our show. And so every time I hear it, I think of all these amazing women who were involved in that show.
And we'll see if we can get the name right. Keely Settle, right? Now, this is from the Greatest Showman soundtrack, and this is me.
Yeah.
And this is WEFT, my favorite vinyl. Community radio for East Central Illinois, WEFT, 90.1 FM. We thank you for listening either terrestrially, the old-fashioned way, or maybe you're streaming us at WEFT.org or via the WEFT app. Either way, thanks for being here this morning. It's 8:25, my favorite vinyl, Don Tanner, and the mayor of Champaign, Deb Feinen, is across the console here and playing some of her favorite songs. And I know we wanted to go into another song and play some Beyonce. Why this song?
Well, first of all, how can you be a Swiftie and, not like
Right.
Beyonce, right? They are the two queens. But, this one in particular, I love her Cowboy Carter album, probably my country roots from growing up around here.
She did a great job.
And for her to stretch like that is pretty fantastic. But this song, which is her and her child, really it speaks to me. It's about, really the care for, a mom has for their child. And then I've also read some stuff online that it was intended to be how she felt about her younger sister. And I've got a younger sister that I definitely feel this way about. And it's just, I love this song. I play it all the time.
And it's called Protector. This is WEFT.
Mom, can I hear the lullaby, please?
WEFT, great crossover album, Cowboy Carter and Beyonce on motherhood and sisterhood. 8:30, about to wrap up this session of My Favorite Vinyl, at least this half of the show. Mayor of Champaign, Deb Feinen, has been with us today, and we're going to play one more song from her. We're also going to wave to our Facebook folks that are watching. This will be up archived on YouTube. YouTube in the next week or so. So, what's on your docket for the rest of the day?
Well, with the weather that we're expecting lots of heat in this week, we continue to really be focused on our unhoused population and making sure that people are safe and cared for. It's something that is on the forefront of everyone's mind in the city of Champaign, particularly council and city staff and the township. And so that's really our biggest issue that we are tackling right now. Yeah, dangerous heat. Dangerous heat is going to continue as well. So as we go out today, and again, thank you so much for coming in here. Absolutely.
What are we going to play next? It's something very, very personal for you.
So we're playing What a Wonderful World, Louis Armstrong. And that was the song my husband and I danced to as our first dance at our wedding.
Aw, that's sweet. And I was doing some research on the song. It came out in 1967 as a single, and it didn't originally do that well in the charts. The record company, the label that he was on, didn't really like the song, didn't promote it. But what an iconic song. Good Morning Vietnam came out later.
Yeah.
It became a hit again. But we're going to play some Louis Armstrong this morning on WEFT. And Mayor of Champaign, Deb Feinen, thank you again for coming in. All right. Keep listening here. This is WEFT.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you.